They're sawing concrete?
They're sawing, not selling.
No, sawing. Yeah, I said sawing.
Yeah.
Sawing concrete.
Okay. I misheard you and I assumed you misheard me.
Who's sawing concrete?
Technology.
Who's sawing concrete at like 6 p.m.?
Guys doing renovations in the room next over, maybe?
Oh, it's in your building. That's what
It might be. I don't know. I'm hearing it from my patio door, so I have no idea.
Oh, gotcha. Well, in any case, we're live. Thank you for everyone for joining us. Is my music coming through?
On my end, it is, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. Is it messing you up at all, or is it fine?
No, it's fine.
Okay. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. James, thanks for making it for another week.
Thanks for having me. Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, it's been a week since Charlie Kirk's shooting.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it. You know, he has the same birthday as George Floyd. That's kind of funny.
The ironies. Well, it's funny because immediately after I realized his organization is called Turning Point.
Yeah, it's his org. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's definitely been a turning point. That's for sure.
Oh, that's even. Oh, wow. Yeah.
I almost saw that as like was that a premonition or?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Very interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about that. But yeah, it's been a week. Look, plenty of smarter people than I have already like added to the commentary. Sam Hyde did a video. Nick Fuentes has done a couple of videos now. Dave Smith, just about every like major commentator has done a video. So I'm not looking to do that here, but I don't know. Just talk about some of the interesting things that we've noticed about it. I, for one, am finding it no end entertaining. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but I'm finding it very entertaining that that people are getting fired over this, and there's like a huge concerted effort by the public to track down people making comments about this stuff. Apparently, this guy's keeping a trophy case talking about the major firings. This guy from MSNBC, this assistant dean, university professor from the U of T, actually, she got caught up in that as well. DC Comics fired this person.
Yeah, the writer behind Red Hood.
She's the writer, but sorry, I'm assuming her gender. It's the writer behind Red Hood.
Yeah, so DC has scrapped Red Hood, from what I've heard.
Well, not completely. Not like
her comics, because they announced
her comic. Yeah, they canceled her series. Yeah. Why would you think that it's okay to like post this publicly? People have gotten way too comfortable on social media, man. It's actually kind of crazy. Why would you think that that's something that's like that's okay to post? Like, there's not going to be any consequences to this?
Well, clearly not. Clearly they felt like they could say whatever they wanted. Because that's their definition of free speech. Speaking of like these clips, there was a Microsoft employee that was fired, and he recorded a response. I'm trying to find a clip of it, but the only ones I could find are on Instagram.
So pull it up on Instagram. I can pull it up.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, let's watch a couple of these. I've seen a couple of videos that I thought were like legit, and I honestly can't tell. But they look legit to me. So who knows?
Yeah. Well, this one is actually like, it's very telling. I find there's a lot to read from this one like minute and a half clip.
Oh, 1 second. Let me switch to my personal account. Give me 1 second. Let's give this one. Oh, hold on. Let me fix the audio because this people are not hearing this. Let's get it again.
Stupid comments
There we go.
about Charlie Kirk on the day that he was shot. I said some things on Blue Sky and on Threads that I'm sorry, not sorry for, but I said them and I deleted them when it was requested that I do so by my employer. And then today on a weekend, I'm told that I am no longer employed at Microsoft. After 6 years, building the diversity, equity, and inclusion department from scratch.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. This is satire. This can't be real. This is satire.
No.
I lose my job because one of you, some random person, reports my posts to my employer, goes out of their way to find out where I work and takes my job, takes my security away from me for a thought, for an opinion, and you talk about freedom of speech like you care about it, and you're just going to take my money, my life, my food off my plate because I don't like Charlie Kirk? That's not okay. It is not okay to target me because I felt joy that day. I can't help how I feel. I felt joy. That's me. That's what I believe. That's what I think of him. I can't help that. So I don't deserve a job? I made some
So to break that down into some pieces, because he says a lot there. Like, first of all, there's no remorse for what he did. Second of all, he only took down
he said he deleted it once he was requested. There's a little.
No, he said he made some stupid comments. He said that he's sorry, not sorry.
He can't help the way he feels.
He says, this is the way I feel. He said, I deleted them when I was directed by my employer. So as far as I'm concerned, that has nothing to do with taking agency for your actions. That's just being told this is it. Like, you need to do this by somebody who has more power over your life. Or a certain amount of power over your livelihood. And then goes on to state how just because I have a different thought, my life is being targeted, that's not okay. Isn't that exactly what happened to Charlie Kirk? It's the same thing.
I found a compilation.
And he's spewing it into the camera and he can't see that. He can't see the absolute irony spewing out of his own mouth.
James, I found a compilation.
The hypocrisy. Yeah, I see that. I've seen a bunch of these.
A second compilation has hit the towers, James.
They're have you heard the fucking joke? There's like a thread on Reddit, just to sidetrack really fast. I thought this was really funny.
Yeah.
So there's a joke where somebody posted like, I'm from the UK and even I'm gonna have a hard time sleeping on September 11th. Or like or they didn't say they were from. They said, I'm gonna have a hard time sleeping on September 11th. And somebody underneath said, the fact that you're in UK like makes this even funnier. And then somebody underneath put, what's happening on the 11th? Like, is it the 21 pilots? It comes out on the 12th. And somebody responds, there's 21 this time?
Oh,
fuck.
But yeah, no.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these. Go ahead.
This whole dynamic that people have, like, oh, I thought you guys believed in free speech. No. It's very simple. Okay, anybody that cheers on the death of someone who
you have the right to say. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you here. You have the right to say what you want to say, but don't expect there not to be consequences.
That right.
So I'll let you continue.
Yeah, it's freedom of speech, but not freedom of consequences, which is exactly what the left has been saying And people on the hard left, especially for the longest time, it's like, no, like, yeah, sure, we believe in free speech, but we also have the freedom to report you to your employer and not associate with you. Look, cancellation and cancel culture and all these different dynamics that we use to ostracize people from society, they're very useful. Like that's why we have prisons. So we need to sequester people for a certain amount of time or for the rest of their life, depending on what they did. There's different arguments to be made there, like how do we treat child molesters versus people that rob banks versus people that do this versus people that do that, right? That's all written in the law, and there's an ongoing negotiation regarding that within the courts. But culturally, when it comes to social norms, I think that anybody that wants to live in an open trust society, that wants to live in a society that values freedom of expression, but not freedom of expression that is somehow detrimental to that society, would agree that there's certain people that say certain things that we should sequester to the edges of it, the fringes of it. So neo-Nazis or communists or anybody that's on the extreme of, whichever political spectrum. This fits into that category because if you yourself think that seeing sound bites of what Charlie Kirk has said or seeing screen caps of it is the same as actually giving him a chance to hear out what he said and to see the full context, if you think that that is an adequate representation of what that man did, and then based on that short clip that you see, you form your opinions of him, well, you're doing a disservice not only to Charlie Kirk and what he says, but more importantly to yourself. I mean, since I've been banned on Twitter, I've been going on Blue Sky more, and I recently, what was the thread that I commented? Oh yeah, so somebody posted like about George Floyd that Charlie said, "Oh, I don't care that he's dead. He's not a hero. He's a scumbag. He shouldn't be celebrated," which are actually like that's true. And here's a post that I added below of his criminal record: aggravated robbery with weapon, possession with intent to deal. I don't know what this one is. Trespassing. I don't know what that is, but all of these, right? Theft, 50 to 500, all of these things, right? He has a storied criminal record starting from 1997 going onwards, and there's probably a ton that they left out here, but this is all that I could find on just short notice. And then below it, somebody screen capped. Here are some things that Charlie Kirk said in his life: that gay people should be stoned, that the Great Replacement theory is reality, that MLK Jr. was an awful person. These are just sound bites, man. These are just like things that you just, as you're scrolling on TikTok, that you see, but you're not actually getting the full context.
Hydroxychloroquine cures COVID. It was the initial response by most Western cultures.
Yeah, or like Muslims only come to America to destabilize Western civilization. Like, okay, just with the most cursory of searches, you would be able to find evidence that this is not the entirety of his claim or what he said. Like, for example, the biggest one that's been floating around is that the 1964 Civil Rights Act was a huge mistake. If you listen to the full clip, Charlie actually breaks it down. He basically says that prior to the Civil Rights Act, if you looked at the statistics of black neighborhoods, the rate of homes that had fathers, the rate of employment, their economic output, all these things that would signal that a group within society is doing well, they were actually like going up. Like they were improving. They had like, I'm not saying they had pure equality or that there wasn't racism or that they weren't facing adversity. Of course they were. Absolutely. There's no denying that. Anybody with fucking 50 IQ can understand that. But just looking at statistics, Charlie was like, look, before the Civil Rights Act, the numbers were this, and after the Civil Rights Act, only like a decade or two after, these are the statistics. So, like, I don't think it's inaccurate to say that to some extent they were actually better off. Like, an argument could be made that they were better off without the Civil Rights Act. And in fact, Charlie Kirk went even as far to say that now, present day, the Civil Rights Act is actually being used to defend transsexual men or I don't know what the right term is, but men pretending to be women entering women's sports. That now the Civil Rights Act is actually being used to defend that, because the Civil Rights Act doesn't actually codify Black or African American. It generalizes it for everyone. So it puts everyone on an even playing field. And so now people that are going through like legislation and going through the court systems of trying to get access for these trans men to go into women's sports, they're using the Civil Rights Act as backing for it. So that's all that he said. People can look this up. There's tons of clips of him like going into detail about why he believes this. But of course, that's not sexy. That's not clip worthy. That's not viral. And so people are going to rely on these little short clips that they see every now and then and be like, oh, see, he's a racist. See, he's a sexist. Like, the amount of times that, like, Black people have come up in those campus sessions and been like, yeah, no, I'm actually, I agree with you. I stand with you, and you're actually not a racist, and I've known you for, like, a decade and a half. Like, there's plenty of people that were close to him that were either Black or gay or what have you. And he even, like, multiple times people asked him about his opinions on gays, and he's like, I don't have a problem with them. I really don't. How can you hate that which you love? I have a love for these people. I don't agree with some of their choices and what they do with their life, but that doesn't mean that I hate them. I mean, he verbatim said that. Let me see if I can find a clip, because I'm once again generalizing, but
yeah, but even so, looking through that list, like a lot of them were just basic.
Well, here it is.
Basic opinion pieces.
Well, like here's one of the best ones. Oh, why is the browser audio not? There we go.
We made friends earlier. She was homeless a year ago, and now she's thriving. How great is that? Isn't that?
Since meeting you a few short hours ago, I've already had numerous people remove me on Instagram and tell me they can no longer be my friends because I'm here at a free event learning both sides of the spectrum. Anyway, oh, and I also forgot to tell you my pronouns. I identify as non-Joe Biden.
I don't know why they muted that, but
non-binary? Is that what?
Live and let live. Everybody can live however they want. They can do whatever they want. And my question for you is, do you have any hate, and is Turning Point USA against the LGBT community? Because I'm being told that by coming here and listening to you speak that I'm either a racist or a fascist or against the LGBT. And isn't fascism when someone doesn't agree with your beliefs and your views and they want it either your way or the highway?
Yeah, the people that defriended you on Instagram, they're the fascists. So I do not have hate for a group. I do not have hate for a people. I have hate
just so I can get it on my camera. So Instagram,
don't worry, we got plenty of cameras, but yeah.
But yes, so you do not hate the LGBT community, and Turning Point is not against LGBT.
No, how could I hate that which I have a heart for?
Thank you.
And I might not agree at that for some of the lifestyle choices that some people make. But of course not. And if someone said, Charlie, what's your view on marriage? I say, I believe marriage is between one man and one woman. But if you ask me, what do I have hate in my heart for somebody that doesn't choose the lifestyle that I believe that God laid out in the scriptures? Of course not.
Yes, I was told that Turning Point USA is against LGBTQ.
Well, you could be told a lot of different things.
I know, it's all
people.
both.
I rest my case. Thank you so much.
God bless you, Charlie.
And look, this is but one example of many. This guy's gone on countless campus tours. You can just scroll and see what he actually believed. In fact, at one point, there was a guy that was like super right-wing Christian nationalist, like potentially white supremacist. He went on and he started like saying like, you're not a real conservative. You don't believe in the Bible like I do because you don't hate the gays.
Hey, Mr. Kirk, thanks for coming out tonight. I got a question for you real quick. Up until about 5 years ago when gay marriage was legalized nationwide, the conservative movement has been explicitly pro-traditional family. Now, both you and your organization advocate for the acceptance of anti-Christian, immoral lifestyles like homosexuality and transsexuality, going as far to invite drag queens like Lady MAGA to your events. It seems to me and anyone who's paying attention that conservatives just believe whatever liberals believed 5 years ago. Right now, there's a push by the left to normalize pedophilia by way of child drag queen shows and... Oh, excuse me. Phone shut off.
Go back to your notes. That's probably where you saved it. You know, you got to like push double tap and then go over.
Right now, there is a push by the left to normalize pedophilia by way of child drag queen shows and rebranding pedophiles as minor attracted persons. 5 years from now, will you be promoting child drag queen shows? Will child abuse become part of the conservative platform?
Boy, that's a slippery slope fallacy if I've ever seen one. First of all, I've never invited a drag queen to come to any Turning Point USA event. I was at Politicon, and an individual by the name of Lady Maga came up, and I took a picture, and she walked away. Secondly, let me ask you a question. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
So are you a proud Trump supporter?
Of course.
So are you sickened that he had a gay man speak at his convention?
Yes.
Then you're not a Trump supporter, my friend. Thank you very much. Let me ask you another question. Should he return the money of Peter Thiel, an openly gay man who supports his campaign?
No, if it helps him strategically,
okay.
Sure he can.
Should he stop talking to Tammy Bruce, who's an open lesbian that's a Fox News contributor?
If it's affecting his ideas, then probably, yeah.
Okay, so you say you're a Trump supporter, yet you have all these issues and these disagreements with him. Let me be very clear about my position. My personal position. I'm a Christian first and foremost, then an American, then a constitutionalist, then a conservative, in that order. I believe marriage, biblically, if we want to have a biblical and theological discussion, as articulated in the greatest book ever to exist in the history of the world, the Holy Bible. Marriage in the Holy Bible is one man, one woman. I also do not believe in the sort of rhetoric that some people engage in, that all of a sudden that they say there's no place for gay people in the conservative movement. I do not believe that.
That's not conservative.
And let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question then?
Sure, go for it.
So, the American family, liberty, freedom, the Constitution, our history, veterans, that's what we're conserving. I'll get to you later, though, don't worry. So let me ask you a question. If you had your way, what would you do with gay people in America?
What would I do with them? I wouldn't.
Yeah, because they're not allowed in the conservative movement, so would you just kick them out anytime they show up at a Republican Party? If you were in charge, like what would you say? You can't be part of the Republican Party.
If somebody is advocating for being openly homosexual, yeah, they should not be part of the conservative movement.
So I just want to go through the list. Guy Benson, no place in the conservative movement. Dave Rubin, no place in the conservative movement. Peter Thiel, no place in the conservative movement. So that just to go down the list.
If they are supporting open homosexuality.
So I'm going to ask a very respectful question, as respectfully as I can. What does what they do in their private life concern you so much that you have to go up in front of a crowd? And
it is against God. That is
so.
Why.
Let me ask
Are
you
a
question.
Christian or not?
Do we live in a theocracy? Yes or no? No. Do we live in a theocracy?
You said you're a Christian.
I am a Christian. And do you know what? And guess what? I will say this. Part of being a Christian is appropriately interpreting what the theological says for the individual, but also means to be long-suffering and patient and loving and kind. Jesus Christ talked to all people. Jesus Christ went and did his ministry through Judea and Samaria, and he had dinner with tax collectors, and he had dinner with prostitutes, and he did his ministry in every part of the Mediterranean. What it means to be a Christian, my friend, is to be open-minded but firm in your beliefs, so you can have that belief. But if you say there's something inherently wrong with communicating or associating just because they make different personal decisions than you, sir, are not a conservative. Thanks for being here tonight.
I mean,
I don't know. Charlie Kirk sounds like a homophobe to me.
yeah. How can you come away after listening to that and not understand that's his position? Okay. He doesn't agree with their lifestyle. Okay. He doesn't partake in the touching of butts. Like, okay, like whatever.
Sure.
So what? But he still has love and an appreciation for these people, like you said, these base Christian values. So, anyways, the point was I noticed all these things, like they initially had that reaction of like laughing at him and at his death. And then they're like, well, hold on, no, but in my defense, he's a fascist. In my defense, he's a this, he's a that, he's a homophobe, he's a transphobe, yada, yada, yada. It's like, that actually doesn't line up with the way that you think it does, because there's literally thousands of hours of footage of him going on campuses and explaining his position, and he's fairly consistent.
Well, and it's interesting that you make that point, because that's one of the ending notes that Jocko had on his. Did you end up seeing that video, by the way?
I haven't had the chance to, but I will later today.
Yeah. In the end, he's talking about how, say, he made the example that 20 years ago, in order to brainwash somebody, you had to get control of them physically, which is very difficult to do. Like, you'd have to rip them away from society, feed them the information you wish them to receive, and alter their care. And it's just this huge, complicated case where now, like you're saying, people are just getting the forefront of this information because that's what's trending on TikTok, or that's the snippet that was shown, you know? And then people end up seeing how, all these reels and all these reactions get clicks, and how continuing to follow this trend of, seeing a 30-second clip and then instantly reacting to it just to hunt down feeds, how that's like a new version of brainwashing.
Yeah.
How technology has taken over to the point where people jump on their phones immediately after this man is shot and laugh hysterically into the camera and then just release it into the ether.
Yeah, with no second thought, with nothing. It's just
Or
it's a
again,
reflex.
remorse. Like, they still don't fully understand what they did. Like, if we watch some of these clips, you'll see there's no remorse for what they actually did. It's all screaming bloody murder that I lost my job.
And no amount of self-awareness that these same people during COVID or during, the last 15 years have been doing this to people that are on the opposite side of them, or just don't share their ideals, whether or not that person was liberal or conservative or what have you. It's literally, it's like you did this. You did this to anyone that disagreed with you, and now you're getting a taste of your own medicine. Except now it's actually, in my opinion, much more justified than any of the cancellations of the past. Like I was saying earlier, like, if it comes out that some major public figure was like sexually assaulting kids, like, let's say, what's his face? That English actor, Jimmy Savile, right? Jimmy Savile, who was by all means protected by the BBC and other major players because he was a major donor to the BBC. He had a show with them. He was a major, like, cultural institution back in, like, the 80s and 90s and even before then. He was knighted in 1990. And the guy was literally going into these hospitals where he had sponsored some of the wings or donated money and sexually assaulting kids. Right? That kind of a person. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, they need to be ushered from polite society. They need to be put in the jail or under it. Okay, like there's no room for anything like that. Anybody that hurts the vulnerable, women, children, the elderly, what have you. Yes, absolutely. These people deserve to be canceled and to be sent in a place that is away from the rest of us, because they clearly can't exist with the rest of us. Absolutely. But canceling Papa John's because he said a slur during a meeting, oh my goodness. What a crime. Holy shit, he said a slur. Oh my goodness. Hang him.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? There's no
was such a win for them.
Wow, great. You guys really combated racism there. Or that Clippers owner that was with his girlfriend that he said he didn't like that she was hanging around black people. Like, oh wow, you guys did such a great service to racism. All you did is you just put those people on edge. Now whenever they're in a room, they make sure that everyone has their phones away. That's all you did. That's all you did. They're going to keep saying those things. They're going to keep having those beliefs. All you did is just make it easier for them to know how to look out for that kind of shit. Good job. Great. Like, canceling people like this actually serves a purpose. This serves a purpose that society desperately needs. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
and I think you nailed it earlier with the whole like you don't have freedom from consequences. And you read my mind about going straight to the example of prisons. It's like, yeah, we have a right to ostracize you from society if you do not conform.
Yes.
And now this is just social like social laws, essentially. It's the people now saying, no, we don't deem this acceptable. Here are your consequences.
Yes. Absolutely. You need that. You need a culture to be self-regulating like that. You need people to be pointed out when they step outside of the norms. It's the same reason why bullying is actually useful in some cases. Like, so long as it doesn't go to the point where you're getting shoved into a locker or whatever, there's an actual, like, there's an argument to be made there that there's a purpose for it. There's a reason for it. You need some people to be bullied, otherwise they're going to go out in a greater society and behave like they always have. And it's never going to change. Like, yes, we absolutely do need to weed out certain people from society. Like, this is not. I don't understand why that's a controversial stance, if it even is one. In any case, get your mug of liberal tears ready. Let's get some of this going.
Rally. I try to avoid American politics if possible, but I've opened X to a
From across the pond, no less. Oh, let's go. That's that's a shot.
Oh, this one.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
bunch of little bitches crying and whinging about how political violence is never the answer. These people are gunning for politics that is inherently violent to its people. These people are gunning for politics that are inherently violent to a population, to marginalized people, to people who need access to healthcare. This is the same across the West. This isn't just the US. This is England too. I'm sick of this idea that you can't meet violence with violence. If somebody was smacking you in the face in the corner of a room over and over, you're going to hit them back. You have to. You're not getting out of that unless you do. These people do not care if you live or die. They don't. As long as you can work for them and make them money, and once you're useless, they don't care. They want you to die. Why is anyone condemning that? Fucking them all. Them all.
Yeah, you felt very good posting that video.
Ended up on turning.
Same girl.
Oh, is this the response?
This is the response.
Oh, so that was the first video. Okay, so
That was
okay.
yeah, her initial.
Okay.
But as I've said before, this is you after you posted that video.
About Charlie Kirk ended up on Turning Point UK's Twitter account, so I need to address this because it's all getting a little out of hand. Let me firstly state that I am no longer at the Petticoat Emporium. My stall has been removed.
For my job, I was just like,
This is a great one. I saw this one and I honestly couldn't tell if it was real or not. Because it was just, this is too satirical. Like, the guy's wearing knee-high socks.
Oh, I know.
With the long hair.
This is just honestly, this one's disturbing because this is who these people are.
Yeah, this one is the. You know what? Let's just play the clip.
Fired from my job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my job. Now I have nothing but this. I have nothing but this website. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing anymore. I have nothing anymore.
As you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
To the person that sent that video to corporate and got me fired.
Oh, this one too.
Thank you. And I know
Again,
that
this one
everybody
has
is
no
going to
remorse.
see this video too, and that's okay. I'm not going to
It's all
say
about her.
anything wrong. Did I realize that what I was saying in that video was going to lead to this? No, I would have never fucking done that. But it
See, I
seems
wouldn't have done it
like
if I had known the
my life,
consequences.
No matter how hard I fucking try, I end up fucking shut up. But I know that everything happens for a fucking reason. And I may not know right now what that reason is, but eventually God will reveal that to me. I love helping addicts. I love helping people. This job stressed me the fuck out some days. But I didn't care because it was worth it, because I was helping people. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. My daughter is about to go to college, and I don't know now how I'm going to pay for that. But I know that I'll figure it out. And if you want to send this video to corporate too, that's fine. But to anybody that creates content, if you work at a treatment facility, if you work in healthcare, watch what you say very carefully. Because it doesn't matter if you don't speak somebody's name. Just describing a situation is enough to get you fired. I did not know that. But now I sure do now. I don't know what I am meant to do in this life. I don't know where I'm supposed to be. I am trying to follow the path that I thought God had for me and wanted for me. But I just keep getting thrown different ways. Maybe I make stupid decisions, yes. But my intentions are always fucking good.
I have good intentions when I celebrate the death of a man for having a different opinions. I'm good. This is God's path. I don't think
God's
God
path,
is in your
yeah.
corner on this one.
I was gonna say she's like I'm open to whatever God presents in front of me, and I don't know where this is gonna lead, but God will reveal it later. Like, no, I think he kind of made his point right then and there. I think he kind of revealed what you're supposed to do and not supposed to do.
Everything I
yeah.
do, I have good intentions. Really?
Yeah, she
Your
had real
actions
good-
would say otherwise.
Yeah, she had real good intentions posting that video.
Mm.
Let's play a couple more of these clips because I don't want to just like fucking harp on these people because like part of me does take joy in the fact that this is happening, but another part of me is like, well, it's kind of sad that this even got to this point at all. That now everyone's just weaponizing this tool of social media against each other whenever, you know, their dominant party is in play. Like if Biden or the Democrats were
But
still
again,
in
this
office,
isn't about
if they were still in office, like I don't know if it would have happened to the same extent. I don't know if people would have gone after them, but because the red wave kind of just washed over America, everyone feels like it's, you know, the socially responsible thing to do here.
I don't know about that because I would say that regardless, like we've already stated, like this is a
It's also hypothetical. There's no. I don't even think there's any
No,
point
I
entertaining
get where you're
that.
no. I get where you're coming from. No, it's a good point to be made because it definitely impacted people in a certain way and emboldening them and feeling like, you know, that their values now carry more merit. It's like what you and I were saying about like things like the convoy. It's like they all of a sudden they feel heard. They don't feel alone anymore and isolated. It's like they came together as a country and said, nope, we're done with this. We're moving this way now. So I get where you're going. That could definitely be an influence, but I feel like at the end of the day, whoever's in office wouldn't have mattered because again, this is social consequence. This is something that people came together and were like, yeah, this is unacceptable. This can't be happening. You can't be allowed to just run around and spew this shit without consequence. So honestly, I think it would have happened regardless.
Yeah, probably kind of like how Bud Light, you know, happened during Biden's presidency, but that didn't really matter much. You know, people stood their ground on it regardless. But yeah, let's see some more of these clips.
I've gone through as many TikTok videos as I can possibly do the last 12 hours.
Oh, this is the person talking about who's making all the calls. Let's see another one where they get fired.
Dignify the lunatics that they are.
Episode 2 of Let's Make These People Famous for the vile comments they...
Oh, another one.
Yeah. She basically lists off a bunch of people and there's even a list one rings
and
off
get away
all
with
the
it.
people that lost
Thousands
their
of people
jobs.
have gone online celebrating the passing of Charlie.
Oh, it's less compilations of them. Oh, wait, hold on. No, there's one here.
Shocked.
They always have that certain look I always talk about. It never fails.
Shocked. I was like, somebody actually posted this.
A Barrington teacher tonight put on paid leave after parents say the teacher posted inappropriate comments on social media about the shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
No remorse, no nothing. It was more so, oh, he got what was coming for him.
Parents say the post in question was a TikTok video. It's since been taken down, but parents we spoke with still saw it.
It was a post of a male teacher who is saying that the killing was justifiable.
Barrington Superintendent Chris Ashley first announced the school's actions to parents over email before addressing the issue again at tonight's school committee meeting.
We will be conducting an outside investigation into this. We can't discuss the details.
Any acts of political violence cannot be tolerated.
Parents tell us the teacher in the alleged video works in the high school and is involved in the union. Multiple parents spoke out during public comment tonight.
Having the most evil reaction to someone's death is literally disgusting.
To make our students feel safe, our conservative students feel safe, our Christian students feel safe, he needs to be removed.
The school said that he's now on paid administrative leave. Is that enough?
No, it sets a precedent that you can say whatever you want on the internet and nothing will ever happen.
And I asked.
Yeah, that's that. There's more of these, but honestly, that kind of makes our point.
Yeah, they get pretty redundant, but those are pretty much the main ones that. So
here's our Canadian correspondent that worked for CTV before she got fired. I think this is her.
Good behavior.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and my name is currently first on a website claiming to expose Charlie Kirk's murderers. You might be wondering how I got here. I'm kind of wondering that too. I already told this story to Wired, but let me tell it to you now in my own words. Because for the last 2 days, I've been getting messages like this non-stop, claiming to know where I live and saying they're coming for me. Now, what did I say to deserve all of this? Let's go to the website and read the screenshots that they included of me celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder. I said I was terrified to think of how far-right fans of Kirk, aching for more violence, could very well turn this into an even more radicalizing moment. Will they now believe their fears have been proven right and feel they have a right to retaliate regardless of who actually was behind the initial shooting? That analysis came from the fact that I am an experienced journalist who has extensively covered right-wing extremism. That's also why, by the way, a lot of people hate me and want to shut me up. And I was immediately proven right. Many far-right personalities are using this as an excuse to agitate and retaliate against their political enemies. That includes former conservative leader Andrew Scheer, because this is where it all started for me. The hate massively escalated when former conservative leader and sitting currently conservative MP Andrew Scheer took my words and called me twisted and said I have so much hate in me. Pierre Poilievre's wife also boosted this post. Then things got even worse when I got a DM from a friend of mine telling me about this website. She sent me the link, and at first I thought she must have sent me the link to the direct post about me on this website. But then I double checked the link and I realized this was the homepage. My name was first. And then things exploded. The flood of threats turned into a tsunami. And as it escalated, I shared that I was scared. Then several massive American right-wing accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers took a screenshot of that and shared it saying I deserved it, without showing what I actually said. And suddenly I was like the face of people celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder, even though that literally never happened. And it's made the last 48 hours of my life a living hell. Every single person who's ever disliked me is using this as a chance to get their pound of flesh. But this is the part I really want you to hear. It's not just me. There are tons of people listed on this site who aren't public figures, who have never dealt with this before, and I am terrified for them. Some of the posts on this website are private messages. People are snitching on folks in their lives. And if they've received what I've received in the last 48 hours, which I'm sure they have, I'm so worried about them. People are out for blood right now. And there are people out there who are using this moment irresponsibly to serve up their perceived political enemies as a sacrifice. And for what? They're just proving me right. And I just really hope no one makes good on these threats, because I now have to live as if they might.
So you decide.
With all due respect, let's go back to the original post. Where is it here? So, quote, terrified to think of how far-right fans of Kirk, aching for more violence, could very well turn this into an event even more radicalizing moment. Jeez, oh my God, I am having a conniption. Will they now believe their fears have been proven right and feel they have a right to retaliate regardless of who was actually behind the initial shooting? Look, she's certainly not celebrating his death, but that's your first reaction.
This is literally moments after.
3:46 p.m. When what time was Charlie?
Wasn't he shot at
Kirk
noon?
Shot? Something like that. It was
like
midday.
quarter after 12 or something, wasn't it? 12:30. So 3 hours later. See, that's just in poor taste. That's terrible timing.
Assuming that this is her first tweet after it, but yeah, she's terrified to think of how
there were no initial reports, right? So it took a while for it to come out that he was actually killed.
Yeah, she's terrified to think of how the far right fans of Kirk would potentially retaliate, but not thoughts and prayers, or this is unacceptable. That regardless of your opinion, you shouldn't shoot people if they disagree with you. No, her opinion is, oh my God, we have to be careful about this escalating to the far right. Not disavowing the shooter, not
even saying two fellow conservatives don't see this as an act, not even making a statement. I'm saying don't act out against this.
No, she's whipping it up and being like, oh my God, what if the far right retaliates even more?
She's fueling the fire.
You're not helping. You're not
hours after.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that this justifies all the hate mail that she got, getting all these threats of sexual assault and all that. Absolutely not. No, that is unacceptable. You should not be wishing that on someone, even with her milquetoast take on it. But she's not exactly.
We both felt strongly on against certain political leaders, but we've never issued a threat. That's never come to mind. I've never thought, oh, I'm going to find so-and-so's Twitter and threaten to rape them or something. That's...
Yeah, no, that's...
unbelievable.
That is absolutely not what anyone should be doing. But no, the fact that she's arguing about this as if she has some kind of defense, oh my God, I can't believe that people are going after me. It's Rachel Gilmore has had a history of, quote-unquote, covering these, as she said, far-right-wing extremist movements, and she's been doing this for the longest time. She's an expert in journalism and all that, yada, yada, yada. Bro, all you did was, you slandered the convoy?
She learned really well from the CBC on how to fuel a fire.
Yeah, you had a job for CTV for half a day until they pulled the plug because they started looking at your other old tweets and positions that you've had, and they realized that you're actually a little bit too extreme for their tastes. She had a show that she was going to be doing for them, an online show, had a contract and everything lined up, and then they pulled the plug because they realized, oh, this is actually not somebody who we should be platforming. I don't know what to tell you, man. She's not exactly innocent in this. She's not some innocent bystander being like, "Oh, I offer impartial views on these things." No, you're going at it with a view. You think the convoy was a far right extremist movement, which it wasn't. It really wasn't. Couldn't be further from the truth. You slander anyone that is not left-leaning as far right, or just about. So, like, no, I don't really have any sympathy for you when it comes to getting put on that list or having opportunities taken from you. I got sympathy for her when it comes to some of the threats. Yeah, absolutely. But beyond that, nah, you're on your own, man. You made your own bed. Now lay in it. Same goes for the rest of all these people.
Yeah, because she clearly wasn't using her head when she did that. Because doing that again, like we've seen countless other people do, they took their time in their initial response and really thought about what they wanted to say and put out there on it. And they didn't want to go in there half-assed and trip up and say something that they really didn't mean, or said in the heat of the moment. It's like, you said that 3 hours after the fact, when everyone is just hearing about this, figuring this out, and is still like emotionally taken aback. And you expect not to see backlash on this like ambiguous kind of statement. Okay.
You could have just taken a beat, maybe just waited a day, collected your thoughts, literally done anything else, but nope, I guess not. Let's see who else. The world is a better place with less Trump supporters, period. Cool. Yeah, well deserved. Goodbye. Carolina Panthers have fired Charlie Rock of the team's communication department for insensitive post regarding the murder of Charlie Kirk. What did he actually post? Does it actually say what he posted?
What was the guy's name who was fired?
Charlie Rock.
Oh.
Oh, why are y'all sad? Your man said it was worth it. Which included a reference to Wu-Tang Clan's song Protect Your Neck. Okay, dude.
Jesus.
Yep. Gone. Sayonara. Glenn Turr from Miami County Day School has been forced to resign. He was caught in the comment section of a Charlie Kirk Instagram post saying he died. Oh well, he ironically promoted gun usage. Karma. Gone. Good riddance. Phoenix Sports part ways with writer who wrote a thread mocking and justifying Charlie's murder. Political differences are not the same thing as spewing hateful rhetoric on a daily basis, and refusing to mourn a life devoted to that cause is not the same thing as celebrating gun violence. Okay.
The fact that you can't see the... Okay.
He was a father. Half of y'all don't give a damn about doing anything to stop gun violence when the victims of mass shootings were literal children. Okay. All right, dude. All right. Good riddance. Kelly Brock Sanchez, teacher at Ridgeview Elementary School in Lakeside, Florida, has been suspended. Where's the original post? Oh, this may not be the obituary we were all hoping to wake up to, but this is a close second for me. Yeah, goodbye. Michael Todd, another high school teacher. I just hope the gun is okay. It worked very hard and it was very loud. Nice.
I think it's fantastic that a lot of these people are in teaching and support worker jobs.
You notice that? Communications?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of communications people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's no screen cap of this one.
Another school teacher.
Another teacher. Thoughts and prayers to his children, but in my honest opinion, America became greater today. There, I said it. Nice.
Another teacher? Jesus.
Another teacher.
Homeschooling's looking really good all of a sudden.
Yeah, no fucking kidding. West Ada School District has fired a Meridian employee. Yep. Drag queen performer and student teacher at Valleyville School. Yep. Another teacher. Dude deserved it. Advocate for violence. Get violence. Okay. Sure, man. This just goes on and on and on. How many are there so far? Oh my god.
I don't know. We should start a tally, I guess.
Well, he's keeping it. 32, 33, 34, 38. Oh my god. Holy shit.
50.
And these are just the 50 that we know about. It keeps going. 60. Oh my god, this is so good. 90.
Hit triple digits.
101 will be added to the cabinet on the day of Tyler Robinson's execution. Wow. 100. I'm guessing Libs of TikTok is keeping tabs on this too.
Oh yeah. Well, they were actually used in that redheaded bitch's story as an account that was calling for violence because there was I guess they tweeted like "This is war." It showed it in the video previously.
Yeah, I remember that.
Did you see the one about the printing company that wouldn't print the Charlie Kirk vigil?
I heard about that, but honestly, I think they're in the right to do that. I think that we should go back to a way of life for businesses where they don't feel obligated to offer services for people that they otherwise don't agree with. In the same way that like the initial case that blew that up was that Supreme Court case where that gay couple was going around to different bakeries and asking them if they could bake them a cake. So they were targeting like Christian ones specifically just so that they can get the lawsuit. And then eventually they found one that refused them, took that to the Supreme Court, and then won that ruling. And I think Trump overturned that, or it was overturned anyways. But no, I think that's correct. I think that if a business does not want to associate with certain people or a certain group, they should have the right to do that.
As a business.
Yes.
As a business decision. Yeah, these were just some managers. The business later fired the employee. Yeah, the business later fired the manager.
Wait. So like someone came to the counter and said, "Hey, I have like 100 or whatever posters I want to print out for Charlie Kirk," and what the person behind the counter just said, "No," but it was a personal decision. It was not like the business's decision.
No, the business fired the individual, fulfilled the order, and then apologized, saying that they don't represent our company's beliefs. Like, because they called it propaganda. They're like, "Yeah, we don't print propaganda."
Oh, I see. Interesting. And it looks like
it wasn't some small company where the owner was there and refusing service. It's like, no.
Oh, okay. My fault. Because I assumed it was like a small company because I'd heard of that. Yeah.
No. It was. I can't remember the exact chain, but they're a bigger like conglomerate.
And it looks like as of 30 minutes ago, Jimmy Kimmel's show is like getting pulled completely because I had heard that Stephen Colbert was going to be off the air within like the next year or so. And I didn't know if Jimmy Kimmel was also getting pulled, but I mean,
he made remarks on the Charlie Kirk. Jesus.
Yeah. Here it is. Yeah. This is the one.
That is not a smart move.
We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes.
He didn't understand the
He's
question.
At the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
I don't know how I feel about that.
That's all he said?
I don't know. I guess we have to watch the whole segment, but I'm not willing to sit through a whole fucking episode of Jimmy Kimmel.
No.
I don't think I've ever seen an episode of Jimmy Kimmel. But it looks like he might be getting pulled, actually.
Well, and
Oh
again,
my
where do you
God.
get off immediately assuming
Dude.
that this guy Jimmy Kimmel isn't funny?
It's by Charlie Kirk in 2017.
Yeah, I see that.
Amazing. Yeah, it's indefinitely suspended him. False Charlie Kirk killer claims. Yeah, like people are now
Yeah,
like
see, that's the problem.
he's claiming that he's a MAGA supporter, which I honestly I genuinely don't know. I am waiting until the facts come out. I have not been paying attention to this at all. I don't know. I obviously the things that he wrote on the bullets do not imply that he was right wing. In fact, the opposite. Apparently, they've
What
now
about his
seized.
trans lover?
What about his what?
What about his trans lover?
That too. I mean, that's like, but like once again, I don't have confirmed data that I feel comfortable like weighing in on. So honestly, I can't say. I don't want to make a claim here. But
Well, I don't think it was one of those crazy Christian homophobe guys like the guy we saw in that other clip that shot him.
No, he certainly didn't seem like a Christian fundamentalist to me. But yeah, it looks like his show is actually it's getting pulled like fully. Wow.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel isn't funny, so
He hasn't been funny for the longest time. I don't know anyone that watches Jimmy Kimmel.
and that clip of Trump didn't hear the question over the construction.
Dude,
He had no idea what that guy said.
I don't know if that was a helicopter or what in the background, but like come on.
He had no idea what he said.
Oh, has he tweeted anything? He hasn't tweeted anything since 2024. Interesting. Well, good riddance. But yeah, it looks like libs of TikTok.
Nothing of value was lost.
No, absolutely nothing of value was lost. I feel for the crew. I feel for those people getting fired because of the host's asinine comments.
Yeah.
Those people, they don't
Yeah, but
necessarily.
they're with ABC, right? Like they should be okay.
Who knows? I guess it depends on the structure. If they have a union, if they're not, like I generally don't know. But I feel for them. They got no control over that. This guy just goes on the air and says whatever the hell he wants, basically. Within certain boundaries. But yeah, now they have to find another job, and I don't know. But no, it looks like Libs of TikTok is covering this endlessly. 70 teachers across 12 districts in Oklahoma. Wow. They are going hard.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about accounts like Libs of TikTok is that they make their bread and butter off of incidents like this. It's like how I noticed a lot of these accounts and new people popping up on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and taking advantage of the whole convoy incident. Like a lot of people made a big name for themselves off that.
Like Rachel Gilmore, the redhead journalist that we just saw.
Mm-hmm.
That was her bread and butter. She became like an independent journalist around that time, and then skyrocketed because everyone was looking for coverage. And I'm pretty sure she's based in Ottawa. Look good. These people are getting everything that they deserve. If you think in any way that shooting was justified or that person was justified in their actions, just because you don't agree with that person's opinions,
you take a hard look at yourself in the mirror.
You deserve everything that's coming to you. These people should not be anywhere near kids. They shouldn't be anywhere near polite society. They really shouldn't be. I'm not saying there's no redemption there. I'm not saying there's no redeeming them. For all I know, you know, a good chunk of these people, this might be a good wake-up call for them so that they reevaluate their values and they reconsider some of the positions that they have. This might be the thing that actually helps them and hopefully doesn't drive them further down. But
maybe, but as we've seen with some of these clips,
who knows?
The only thing, like, look at that blonde woman that was talking about sending her daughter to college.
Yeah.
She was saying how, oh, for people who are in like the service industry or what, I think she helped addicts. I think that was her job.
Yeah.
Whoever works as like a support worker or whatnot. All she said was, be careful of what you say, because even though you don't specify a name, you'll get in trouble. It's like, that's what you took away from this? What you took away from this wasn't, hey, don't laugh and dance and have a little mini parade over a man's death. It was, yeah, just don't say anything. Because I feel like, and I've seen this in a lot of clips of Charlie Kirk's, is that there's some twisted sense of logic that if my values, because I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of these people who see these like 30-second TikToks, right? And how they feed off of these. Because they, first of all, they don't get the entire discussion or the information. They just get the heated, you know, mid-debate or whatever's happening at the end, the whole gang up scene in front of Charlie's fucking table. And I'm noticing that there's this twisted logic where if my values are challenged and they're exposed for, you know, not following a coherent chain of logic, that the point isn't now to look within myself and reevaluate and see, okay, is there a better way of going about this? Do I still believe in this? Do I want to keep this part? Okay, well then how do I make that work? Like, there's no cohesive chain of thought. It just goes to, oh, this person challenged my values. Well, they must just be hateful in this topic. They just start playing the blame game. There's no self-evaluation at any point. It's just, it's straight to emotion. And that's the bigger issue I've been talking about you with before, is like, how do we converse with individuals like these?
Up to a point.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Kirk was doing. He was proving me wrong, because I'm sitting here going, I don't know how to talk with these people. I don't know how to get through to these people. I don't know how to sit and go through this train of thought and expose these people, not expose them in like the point and laugh, you know, definition, but
how do you share your views with them and actually like make it so that they can absorb them?
Exactly. And that's exactly what Kirk was doing. Or at least attempting to do. He was putting himself out there. He was open to the discussion. And he was also open to learning. Like I was telling you early on before the podcast about how my coworker will ask you, like, oh, do you know how to do this? And if you say yes, he'll go, okay, go ahead. And he'll give you the tool. He'll let you go to work and he'll stand there and he'll watch over you, right? And at first, like, he'll watch over you and then he'll go, okay, are you done? And he's like, yeah, I'm done. Okay, well, here, give me the tool. I'm going to show you how I want you to do it, or how I think it should be done, or an easier way. And to a lot of people, that will seem demeaning. To have somebody stand over you, acting like, oh, I know better. I want to see you, fail at it. But then I was talking to him afterwards, and he came back to me and he goes, no, I stand there and I ask people, do you know how to do this? And they go, yeah. And then I watch them do it because maybe there's something I can learn. It's like, oh shit. So he understands that it goes both ways. It's not this air of superiority that like I'm so used to seeing in Western culture, where like multiple jobs or even at home, the people standing over you thinking they know what's best for you, and then basically like snickering under their breath as they show you how to properly do it. He goes, no, like there's somebody could surprise me. And that's what Kirk was doing as well. If there was anything to be learned, he was there to learn it. He was open to receiving the information.
Yeah, to an extent.
And then I don't understand how you can fault him for that. And then call him racist and homophobic, and like even going back to those points, like the previous post you showed about, oh, these are all the things that Charlie Kirk said. Like I'm looking at them and I'm like, promoting parents to protest mask mandates. Okay. Again, more of an opinion and a high level of conflict at the time was the mask mandates. Yeah, there it is there. Where it is. Yeah. Parents should prevent their, no, that's not it.
Or even gun deaths are acceptable in order to have a Second Amendment. If you actually heard what he said,
That's just a logical statement though. If you have guns, it's going to happen.
well, he said the same thing. He's like, well, what about cars? We have like 50,000 deaths from cars in America year wide. Do we get rid of them? Well, no, because we've entered the social contract that cars are actually a quite useful tool. We need them. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a lot of the innovation and societal development that we do. So part of that means, okay, well, we have to create safety barriers. We have to create laws and regulations that look at licensing. We have to look at this issue as, you know, from as many angles as possible to mitigate as many deaths as possible. That's why we have cops sitting on highways. That's why we have speed cameras. That's why we have this. That's why we have that. Guns are the exact same thing. They're the exact same thing. You want to be able to live in a society where you can defend your home without having to wait for the police? Well, you're going to need a gun. Otherwise, you're at the behest of the police. You're at the behest of the government. You're hoping that they arrive on time.
You're at the best of the criminal. Like
you're at the behest of the criminal, right? So, like, what kind of risks are we willing to take, and which ones are we not? Well, clearly for guns, in America, they've made the calculation that it's worth it, especially in the case of a tyrannical government. Like in any nation right now that doesn't have guns, good luck trying to get any legislation passed for the citizens to have more arms. Good luck.
Yeah.
That is not happening anytime soon. But America was smart enough to do it at first, because it was built on the ideas that we built this nation to escape a tyrannical government, and so that our government does not become like them, we need to make sure that our citizens are armed. That doesn't mean that you can't have sympathy or be in shock when a school shooting happens. That doesn't mean that you ignore that. Of course not. And I don't think Charlie Kirk was ignoring that either. But that doesn't mean that you get rid of the gun. Not to mention the fact that most of the school shooters are doped up on so many SSRIs and antidepressants that part of that leads them to that psychosis, that they think this is the only way out. Like, few people are talking about that. Few people are making that connection. That many of these people that actually perpetrate this gun violence, they're actually just mentally unwell. Maybe we should actually take a look at that a little bit closer. But that's an aside. That's neither here nor there. But once again,
no, but that's also been the argument for. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Well, like, more to your point is it's taking it out of context. Gun deaths are acceptable in order to have a Second Amendment. Okay, well, driver deaths are acceptable in order to have roads.
Yeah.
Like what? I mean, we can extend this to whatever. Like, cancer deaths are acceptable in order to have cigarettes. Like, which? I mean, how? Like, Coca-Cola deaths, diabetes deaths are acceptable in order to have Coca-Cola. Like, which? You can place this in any little vice that people have, or any little thing that can cause them harm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, alcohol alcoholism is acceptable.
Liver failure.
Liver failure is acceptable in order to have alcohol. Are we going to ban alcohol anytime soon? How did that work out for America? It created the mob. Like, are we?
Yeah,
like, what are we? What are we talking about here? Are we a serious people, or are we not? I don't. Yeah.
No. Again, they take these snippets and they go, look how evil he was. But reading through them, you're like, this is just, it's mostly opinion. Even these snippets taken out of context.
Yeah, I don't know who took the time to write this or to catalog this. Oh, I guess he did. This guy, Sean Fay Wolf. What's he got going on? Quite frankly, I sincerely doubt there's a single item on the list the man wouldn't proudly stand by if he were still alive. Yeah, because if you actually listen to what he said, this isn't even worth arguing in my head about. This is just ridiculous. Yeah, this is just, Jesus Christ. Blue Sky is a fucking cesspool. In any case.
Yeah, well, ultimately, and again, like, this is where we can't be soft when it comes to the cancel culture here, because we're using it as the, you know, the social bullying, as it were. It's like, at the end of the day, he was father, a husband, a son, you know, a friend,
A
and
leader
at the end,
to millions of people.
yeah, and all he was doing was talking.
He wasn't
That's the
even
thing.
like
You went after somebody who had no, like, I don't want to say no real power, but like,
he wasn't vying for
he had no
political
title.
office. Yeah, he wasn't in politics. Like, he wasn't actually like he didn't hold a position of power. That's not to say that he didn't influence people. It's not to say that his movement didn't have influence over the election. Of course not. Of course it did. Absolutely. But he's what? He's a thought leader. He goes out to speak his mind. Okay, how is he different? How's he any different from any of these influencers? In that way, anyways. I mean, obviously he's different because he was willing to hear out the other side. He openly welcomed them. And at his events, he made it so that those people that disagreed got to go first. He wanted those people to speak first. Like, how brave do you have to be to not only like defend your opinion online, but to do it in person in front of like groups of thousands,
Face to face in public, yeah.
Face to face in public. And as an influencer, your reputation is everything. So your opinions have to be consistent to an extent, or like well thought out. And he did it.
Every word that comes out of your mouth.
Yeah. It's going to get clipped. And if you say the wrong thing at the wrong time, or if you're just not able to articulate your point, you're going to get raked over the coals. And he was able to navigate that world for years.
Yeah, and Ben Shapiro even stated how he had evolved into a great public speaker.
As one does in that position. You know, like I said to you off stream at one point, the guy did more in his lifetime than many of us could ever aspire to do. And I'm not even saying that as someone who agrees with him on everything he said, but I will always respect him for the fact that he was able to hear it, like, just let the other side speak, hear them out, and then he would offer a counterpoint. And he would do that time and time again, doing all these campaigns to all these different colleges. I mean, what more can be said? Anyone that's able to think rationally, even for a moment, can see that that's not an insignificant feat, especially in today's day and age.
No, 100%.
I mean, that's why I mentioned when we were talking last week about the shooting that, you know, I hear about celebrity deaths every now and then, and I couldn't care less. You know, Robin Williams or Ozzy Osbourne or Hulk Hogan or whatever. Like, I don't have a connection to any of these people, not even a parasocial one. You know, I don't really feel close to them. And then Charlie Kirk, that that fucked me up for a little bit. That threw me for a loop. Like the guy that they couldn't have found anybody that deserved it less than him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it was Nick Fuentes that it happened to, I'm not saying that he deserved it. By no means am I saying that he deserved it, but it would have been I would have expected that to happen sooner than Charlie. You know, like we said before, like he's the moderate.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the conservatives that are in the public speaking space, especially people that are, you know, if you compare him to the people that are on the alt-right or the far right, he's the moderate. He's the last person that you would expect this to happen to. I would expect, like, that's why I said that I would expect this to happen to Nick Fuentes, which it almost did, almost a year ago when that shooter came to his house.
Yeah,
You know?
and that's exactly what I explained when we were talking there last week, is that he was essentially like the olive branch.
Yes.
You know, he was one of the few ties linking both sides and saying, "Hey, look, we can still talk.
We have.
We can
It's not
still
that we
stop and
can.
talk."
We have to. One of his like
Yeah.
main statements was that if we have to keep doing this, because if we stop, then we resort to violence, and when we resort to violence, then, you know, Nick Fuentes put it perfectly. He's like, look, if we just keep going from this left to right shooting each other, we're going to be ruled by warlords, because then at that point the game becomes who can be the most vicious, who can be the most cunning, who could be the most destructive with a gun. And that's when you become ruled by warlords, and nobody wants that. We do not want to live in that kind of a society. So yeah, absolutely, he was the olive branch.
Yeah, well, that's and also an interesting take that Jocko had on the whole situation is that he specified that when they were in the military, like he gave a whole story, but essentially it came down to the ability to declare somebody as hostile. So basically what that means is, like, in a war zone, the American soldiers had to abide by, you know, the rules of engagement.
Right.
Which basically state that you can only engage a person who is actively committing a hostile act or shows like extreme intent.
Yeah, like an AK slinged on them or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially. So what he was saying was there's a story where they found this terrorist leader, and they knew exactly where he was going to be. And Jocko put in a request to the higher ups to declare this individual as hostile so that they could shoot on sight. And he had already been known to, like, coerce all these groups into destroying villages and families and raping children and these horrible, horrible things. So Jocko sent the request to the higher ups, and something like literally hours before the operation, they heard back and it was denied. And Jocko says, like, I thought it was a no-brainer. I thought for sure we were going to get clearance on this guy, and we didn't. And he goes, that's what we do. That's the American way. It's like, if we're going to attempt to distribute, like, our principles to the rest of the world, we need to abide by those principles. Then he goes on to say, and yet an individual took it upon themselves to declare this individual as hostile, as shoot on sight. And it's like, yeah, no, that's just, now it's just anti-American. It's like, you in no way, if the American government says, no, you can't kill this person, like this absolute garbage human being in a war zone, what gives you the right to declare anybody here as a target that should be shot on sight. Like the
I see what you mean.
audacity.
Yeah.
You know? It's a level that we can't understand, and that's what we were saying before about how a lot of these individuals are mentally ill. And I mean, yeah, how else do you kind of come to this conclusion and then act upon it if there's just not something wrong with you? And that's where, like, I've seen it all over Instagram. This was a couple months back. I haven't seen anything on it recently, at least me personally, but the jokes about like bringing asylums back.
Oh, like to put like the homeless into and anyone that might be considered a danger to the society, you mean?
Yeah, well, not necessarily like targeting the homeless, but yeah, no, if they, if they're mentally ill, like if you're
Yeah.
behaving in such a way that, again, you're not you're not like conforming to society and
You're a
yeah,
danger to
you're
yourself
not-
and those around you, yeah.
yeah. Again, this goes back to removing you, ostracizing you from society. But yeah,
That
no, it
has
was
to
just
be-
it was an interesting take. But yeah,
That has to be an existing function within society. That has to be There has to be some kind of a motor mechanism for society to do that. Absolutely. Like there's no doubt. It reminds me of that episode in The Walking Dead when Rick Grimes' group, they go to spoiler alert for anyone listening. They go to that community.
spoiler alert: the show's been out.
I know.
But yeah, sorry.
But there's that episode where they get to that nice gated community, and they're all just like all these suburban people that haven't like been on the outside world for the longest time. And Rick's group shows up, and they're all disheveled, and their beards are grown out, they're starving, and they get welcomed to the community, and all of a sudden they discover that one of the people in the community is beating one of his wife and his kid, and Rick tries to plead to them and say like, hey, this is not right, we can't let this go on, we can't let this kind of behavior go on, we can't let him just be. And their concern was that like he was one of the only doctors or something like that, like they needed him for the community for that reason.
Yeah.
And Rick was like, no, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. We don't keep people around like that because they are inherently destructive to the community. And then they get into the scuffle where the guy had like a ninja sword or like a katana or whatever, and he kills one of the members accidentally. And it was the husband of the leader, and she eventually tells Rick like, yeah, shoot him, kill him. Because in that moment they realized like, no, you can't. Now they were faced like dealing with the event, in
With
that
the
specific time and
consequences,
place.
yeah.
With the consequences of like this was like if this was dealt with beforehand and we just put him outside and let him go,
Just threw him out.
just threw him out, at the least didn't even have to execute him, none of this would have happened. And yes, absolutely. And in that same way, these people deserve everything that's coming to them. The people that are celebrating his death, the people that are saying that there's no reason to have remorse. I mean, dude, for fuck's sake, I don't know if you saw photos of this, but there was a memorial made for that Ukrainian woman that was stabbed in the neck, and people spray painted over it. Have you seen this?
Wow. No.
Yeah, let me show you this. Hold on. So, name of Ukrainian refugee that recently died
Wasn't
during
it
stabbing attack.
Ivanka or something?
I don't know her name, and I don't want to butcher it, so I want to make sure that I get it right. I still haven't seen the video, and I honestly don't plan on doing it because it's just, from what I've heard the description, I don't know if I can bear myself to watch it. And I've seen some fucked up shit, but I don't know if she was 23. Oh my god. Yeah, there was a memorial. Why didn't I copy paste? Are you serious? No fucking way. No, Twitter's gonna show me it. There's no way.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that when you looked it up on Google, it wasn't the first thing that showed up.
No, Google wouldn't do
Was
it.
it
But
being
yeah,
vandalized?
here it is. Return
What
to
does it say?
love, end systemic oppression.
What did? Okay, all right, yeah. See, these people are demented. What did that have to do with? Oh, they did.
Anything.
They vandalized Charlie Kirk's as well.
No, of course, yeah, Charlie Kirk's, yeah.
Like end systemic oppression. So she was oppressing that gentleman when he got up and stabbed her twice, just by being on her phone.
I don't even
by
know.
breathing the same air. Explain this to me.
I don't even know. I don't know what the defense is here. I have no clue. But this lady here got fired after destroying the Charlie Kirk memorial.
He lives as he died, promoting violence. Record all you want.
Yeah, I don't get where this promoting violence comes from.
No, look at this shit. Check it out. Look at this shit.
Fuck all this overreactive bullshit. Fuck Charlie Kirk. Fuck Charlie Kirk.
And then she posted GoFundMe after that. After the recent events of Charlie Kirk's death, my sibling and I are being doxxed online, and my sibling was fired from their job. This is a direct violation of their First Amendment rights and unconstitutional. This is unfortunate, but anything helps. Please help my sibling while they look for another job and stand against the tyranny that is creeping into the country. Her name is Carrie Rollo. Let's see what that GoFundMe is at now. There's got to be a GoFundMe. Please tell me there's a link.
You just missed it. Go back.
No,
There's
it's
the third link.
Oh, here it is. No. It's after Hurricane Helene. That's different. Fight against fascism. Maybe if I bless you. Maybe if I type it in. What is it? Fight against fascism with a fight against fascism. Oh, here it is.
There it is. 2000. Can't even fucking read that.
I can barely make it out. Let's make her famous. Yes. $2,000 raised. Fucking Christ.
So this is allowed to be here, but the Freedom Convoy.
No. I look, by all means, she wants to do this by all means. Like this.
No, I'm not saying it should be taken
Yeah.
down. I'm making the opposite argument.
Yeah. By all means. Sure.
I don't understand where this whole argument of violence is coming from, though. It's like that other woman we saw, like,
what do you mean?
There he's gunning for violence. Like that he made calls for violence, like that he was a violent person. And
he advocated for violence. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed the meeting where Charlie Kirk told us to go out and murder people in the streets. I must have missed that day. My fault. Must have missed the part where he said, "Yeah, we should definitely assassinate our political rivals and people who disagree with our opinions." Yeah, that's just.
Or could I send her a Venmo for some ice cream? Look, the point is you're desecrating a memorial.
Yep. desecration is not the weapon of the right. Whether we're talking about destroying memorials or tearing down statues or
regardless if
renaming shit because of whatever beliefs,
it's not typically a tactic of right-wing movements, sure, but even like regardless of that, it isn't something that should be celebrated on either side.
no, absolutely not. That's the thing.
Yeah. And of course, we got the classic support. If it was me, I'd take a shit on top of it. Good job, Carrie. Give her a prize. No racist should be memorialized while black people are being lynched. Who's being lynched? God, I swear, these people live in a different fucking world. They literally have no frame of reference when it comes to America. Who even is this guy? Oh, he's got pronouns in his bio.
These people think blacks are being hunted down en masse and
Londoner.
Like families ripped from their homes. Like what?
He's not even American. Oh no, she kicked a candle. Yeah. That's
There it is. Crazy cat lady.
Not anymore. He died.
I feel bad for the cat.
I know. I'm not laughing at her. I'm just laughing at the situation. Yeah, I feel bad for the cat. Yeah. Yes, they've analyzed her memorial for
systemic oppression.
But like she's literally the victim. Okay, you know what?
Yeah, I don't know what. We're just gonna go down a hole of we can't understand this.
Well, no, like because we're also getting to the 2-hour point, and I don't want to keep you longer than you gotta be, but you know, we said this before a couple of days ago that the one great thing that we've seen come as a result of this, if there's any positives to be taken from this, is that not a single riot has broken out, not a single revenge killing, not a single copycat killer, not a single violent incident from people on the right or people that were in support of Charlie Kirk. Not a single one.
No, and there have been rallies. Like I hadn't even heard about the rallies.
There have been memorials over the weekend on September the 13th, globally, when we had those anti-immigration protests in Canada, in the UK, in the US, and a bunch of other places. They were holding portraits up of Charlie Kirk, but not a single person was going out and taking it upon themselves to take vigilant or vigilante-like action against anybody that disagreed with them. And I think that says a lot.
Violent incident. Sorry.
I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
I think that says a whole lot, because anytime that a figure that was embodying the characteristics of the movement on the left has died, whether it's George Floyd or any of the BLM deaths, or any of those people, anytime that they died, people were full out rioting, cities shut down for weeks on end, especially during COVID. People were just out marching in the streets. COVID didn't matter, just disappeared right then and there. And yet here, when Charlie Kirk died, somebody that... Sorry, what'd you say?
Same thing for the Kamloops incident.
The Kamloops incident?
Yeah, the 213 children that were
quote
unquote found.
Yeah. All those quote unquote hidden graves they've still yet to uncover. But yeah, it should be said that not a single violent act has been covered by the press, and you know for a fact that if anyone went out and sought vigilante justice, we would see wall-to-wall coverage of this.
Mm-hmm.
But not a single person, nobody, and yet they attribute this hateful movement, all these disgusting opinions to Charlie, and you're telling me that he has millions of supporters and not a single one of them in the United States, where most of the people that own guns are right wing, not a single one of them went out and took it upon themselves to do something? What does that tell you?
Yeah.
That is an insane amount of restraint. An insane amount of restraint. And not just restraint, but a turning towards the good. A turning towards the virtuous that we just don't often see in this political climate. And I can't believe that that's not the story, that like nobody's writing a news article on that on CNN or CBC or what have you. The fact, like, this absence of violence.
Yeah, but I feel that's more representative of just a shared understanding of common decency. It's like nobody had to go to Twitter and say, "Hey, don't do violent things." It's like, yeah, no.
Well, no, they did.
We know.
They did.
No, they did. I know they did. But it didn't have to be done. Like, we all have an understanding of, yeah, no, this is something we don't do. And, like, you know me better than most. It took me, like, a solid 5 days. Like, the first day after Charlie Kirk's death, I really didn't know how to feel. I wasn't sure where I was standing. It was just this really confused, sense of, I don't know. I can't even call it loss. It was I was just confused. Yeah.
It's loss, yeah.
But again, like you said, like this is one of those things where, celebrities die, and I'm not saying I don't really give a shit. Like it's a shame we lost so and so, but it's at the end of the day, it's more of a selfish claim because you're like, oh, I won't get to see them in movies anymore.
Yeah, you don't feel a connection to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And this hit different, but then coming on the second day, like that's when a lot of the anger started to hit for me. And I was livid. And that lasted another solid like 3 days. But at no point was I ready to go and commit anything, like,
or even just
when I
was comment on people.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't think I've commented or posted anything, to be honest with you, about Charlie Kirk. And even when explaining like the whole situation and where the anger was coming from and so on with my dad, like I could feel that he was like, yeah, but there's nothing you can do about it. So like, don't do anything about it. It's like, I'm not going to go out and perform a mass shooting or an assassination or anything of the like. That's not in my realm of possibility. It's just not there. Like, it's in that basic sense of rationale that just says, hey, look at this. Look at this shared value we all seem to have over here. That violence really isn't the way. And then going back to your point, to go back to the counter argument of, hey, look at the BLM riots and all that. Yeah, I don't get where they continue to say like
that they're violent, that they're
the right is
that they're
the violent
fascist.
one. Yeah,
dude, Trump has had all the reason to go out and conduct what they would call a fascist crackdown. Dude, he got shot. For fuck's sake, did we just move past that?
Yeah.
And like everyone just forgot that
Yeah.
he had one almost successful assassin and one that got caught beforehand. Like, are we really just gonna ignore and move past that? That for 4+ years we heard nothing but Russia, this, that. Jesus Christ, like this is not an even-handed affair. The left and democratic values have been hijacked by people with a mind virus, for lack of a better word. And they think that they're in the right because they stand for immigration and LGBTQ and like some socialist values and all that, because those ideals are quote unquote caring or inherently have some positive ideals towards their fellow man. They think that they're on the quote unquote right side of history. I mean, Jesus Christ, what was it? The Washington Post or New York Times took out a full ad in during the Super Bowl. Democracy dies in darkness. Democracy's on the ballot. We've been hearing that for how many years now? These are the most consequential elections of our time, because if they elect the other guy, all of this is going to end. Calling Trump a Nazi and a fascist leader on the night of the election. Literally the night of the election. For anyone listening to this, go back and listen to our coverage of the election. Certainly an old episode. I think it was one of the first streams that we did. But that was like, we literally saw that on the night of the election. They were calling him a fascist.
Yeah.
And you want to tell me that all this rhetoric, all this stuff, like this reality that you've built for yourself, that he's a fascist and that these people are hateful and misogynistic and homophobic, you're telling me all of that exists and is true, and all these people embody those qualities, and yet when one of their major thought leaders dies, it's just crickets? It's just what, like small little scuff-ups on campuses when people try to deface the memorial? I mean, the one scene that I saw, I don't know if I can pull it up. There was an incident where they had this memorial where this, I mean, I would only assume she's a leftist or a liberal, came up and tried to like throw paint on it, and some people were blocking her, but eventually they let her do it. And oh, here it is. Yeah, this is it.
Just so you guys know, I'm fully religious too. We know.
And they're just standing around and praying. Nobody's manhandling her. Nobody's causing any violence. She just goes up, thinks she's in the right, covering this memorial in her paint, and nobody's doing anything about it. They're just standing around and praying.
But Charlie Kirk is definitely not the morals I support or the religion I support, where you're just taught to love your neighbor, not hate your neighbor.
Respect.
Yeah, love your neighbor.
Okay. If you disagree, so this is loving your neighbor.
I'm not gonna love a man who doesn't even.
There it is. Love your neighbor unless they have the same ideals as you. In that case, when they die in front of their family and thousands of people, go deface their memorial. That's what Jesus preached.
Yep. Your neighbor. You're not loving your neighbor.
Loving your neighbor is loving a man just because they're another human being. It's acknowledging that we're all people. That's what that means.
Either.
No, we're here protecting somebody. We're not here judging.
And we're not the ones.
If we were judging, we would be taking your paint can and dumping it on you, but we're not, are we? Because someone has to pay.
I pay all the time. It will, hopefully. If not, it's a price I gotta pay. Yeah, I am sorry. I did not mean to step on any of the flags. I will admit that. I am sorry. I don't think I did step on those.
She's sorry about the flags. Yeah.
So you have limit. See, this is the.
Yeah, she has morals up to a limit.
But it's weird, and this is the kind of point I was going to make. So, kind of backtracking to your idea of the mind virus, right? And it's like
She have a LinkedIn.
They hide behind these ideas of good intentions, like you were saying about immigration or acceptance in say the circumstances of the LGBTQ and all that. But they have all of these good intentions with no real limitations set on them. And there has to be limitations. That's the reason why I'm okay with a teenager who got busted, stealing from a corner store, being free and walking around and not having to go to prison, versus somebody who literally stabbed a man for no reason. Like, yeah, no, this individual goes to prison because there's a limit there's a line he crossed. This individual made a mistake. While I don't agree with what happened, they're going to receive punishment within like an acceptable range. And it's the same thing here. It's, this is acceptable. This is all acceptable. All this is acceptable. Bring everybody in. Bring them all in. Bring in the 50,000 Gazans.
Let the drag queens read children's stories to kids.
Yeah, yeah. Let our teachers talk about sexuality with my 8-year-old, with my 6-year-old. Like,
yeah, her link.
but then this individual is showing that they do have some limitations of some kind. Like, okay, so you have the morality not to stand on the American flag, which, I mean, kudos, because there are other people on your side of the aisle that are burning them. And yet, you still feel the need that this is something you have to do. That's so deranged.
Yeah.
And then love thy neighbor, but you really don't understand what that means. You just throw it out there whenever it suits your purposes.
Yeah, and when it stops fulfilling your purposes, you don't believe in it anymore.
Yeah. You just throw it away. You're like, oh, I was told something different today. This is what I believe now. It's just like the hypocrisy with that Microsoft guy.
I felt my feelings.
Parallels
My
were
feelings.
astounding.
My feelings. I felt that reaction was justified. I felt that I was right. My feelings deserve to be recognized. Feelings above all else. Okay.
Yep. Feelings above all else. And then you this is where we get people like I saw a clip literally today of this guy on Omegle, and there's a woman on the other end, and he's standing in front of a pride flag, and he says into the camera, he goes, "Can you explain to me how gays make up 2% of the population, but roughly 40% of all sexual assaults on children?" Now, I haven't stat checked that. I don't know if those numbers are correct, but sure, let's just go with that presumption.
And where, like which country, where?
Yeah. It was a very, very general term, but her response was, "What do you mean? Love is love."
That's nuanced. That's very nuanced.
Huh? Love is love. We're talking about kids.
Love is love, man. What if I love me some kids?
That's okay. Well, I'll never be on this podcast again.
Dude, somebody's gonna have a field day.
Somebody's gonna clip that. Yeah, there it is.
Clip that and fucking ship it. Yeah.
Things White Pill said.
Things shit White Pill says. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Morals for me, but not for thee.
Mm-hmm.
Is what that.
And the hardest part is for rational people to look at that behavior from those around them and finally not come to the conclusion in saying, okay, well, if that's how we're going to play the game, allow me to play by your rules.
Yeah, but we can't.
Which is the real... No, I know, I understand that. Which is the real risk that Ginger CTV news bitch was saying. It's like she has a point to be made. Like, how far are we really going to push people until the inevitable, until the very end of your line, the end of your rope?
Yeah, she just missed the second half of her point, which is, hey, maybe people on the left should consider their rhetoric a little bit more before actually going full with it. Maybe calling the leader of the most powerful nation on the planet a Nazi and a fascist for years and years and years and years and years on end actually doesn't do us much good. Maybe calling his followers fascists actually doesn't do us much good. Maybe marginalizing young men and calling them racist, sexist, homophobes and telling them that they don't belong in these spaces. Maybe we shouldn't be doing that. You know, that was like the second part of her point that she kind of missed there, or willfully omitted. You know, kind of like that CBC article that I told you about, that I was writing about why is it that Charlie Kirk has so many followers all of a sudden? Why is he so popular? and the article was basically talking about, oh well, Charlie Kirk is he was very charismatic. He appeals to fringe issues that are controversial to talk about, that appeal to young men, and they said some other shit, but at no point did they say, hey, maybe it's because the left has actually kicked out a lot of these people from their coalition. Maybe because they've actually rejected masculinity and the ideals of men. Maybe that's why they've actually gravitated towards the right, because the right has welcomed them with open arms. Maybe that's why. Nope, no mention of that whatsoever. Just, it's just the right being the right and nothing to do with the left. Just this action that existed within a vacuum and nothing else outside of it happened. The left has nothing to do with it. Like, okay, but like you're missing the full picture. Let me see if I can actually find this.
Well, it's funny they mentioned that because I had seen a meme recently where like it had it captioned, it said the left, and it had a bunch of people standing under it pointing at a white man, and it's just like, get the hell out of here, you're evil, colonialist, and blah 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 blah. And he goes, okay, and then he goes over to the right, and the people on the left are really pissed off, and they're like, why the fuck are you over there? Now you're a fascist. And so it's like, okay, I can't win.
I really hope I can find this story, because this was just a telling story. I can't.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you mentioned before, like, oh shit, what was it? You had mentioned something that brought back what Ben Shapiro had said about the power of words. Oh, like how calling out Trump as a Nazi or fascist is
There it is.
detrimental.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, Kirk's assassination outlined for me like the great importance in the power of words, coming from either side, or even how ridiculous they sound, because Kirk was shot for what he said. Ultimately, he was shot for things that he said and what he believed, and somebody felt those words so strongly that you turned around and you killed him. And not only that, but you felt the words of everybody around you calling him a fascist and the far right and so on, that he hates the LGBTQ community because we saw that clip earlier. I mean, perfect example. And it always brings me back to, like, and we've talked about this before, where Justin Trudeau called like the anti-vaxxers,
truckers, and those against it,
and everybody in there, he called them misogynists and racists. And before, when I first heard that, it's like, what a fucking joke. Like, yeah, it pissed me off that he has the audacity to go on TV and say that and have it clipped and spread all over the world. It's like the fact that those words came out of your mouth.
I felt
you're talking to me.
I felt
you're talking
offended.
to me.
Yeah. No, I took that as a personal slight. I genuinely felt offended.
But you don't realize like the true repercussions behind that is like he is painting you in such a light that all these people who are following this, all these people who are going to listen to this, well, not all of them, but some of them, the ones that would place themselves more left than right,
supporters or whatever. Yeah.
You're painting us now in that light that we are these evil beings. It's the same thing as the masks. It's like, okay, so I stopped wearing a mask the moment they dropped them. I wouldn't wear them anywhere. But then you notice people avoiding you like the plague, and it's like, oh, so now I'm a walking biohazard because I'm not following this one thing because I don't believe what you do. You're literally treating me different.
And part of that is because of what the Prime Minister said. Absolutely.
And that's a huge wake up call.
Yeah, that's the
it's like these words, these real words of hate, which for the vast majority of part don't come from the right. The ones that are calling out to violence, that celebrate on a man's death, that riot in the streets. These people are being coerced. They're being, like Jocko said, they're brainwashed. And those words have tremendous power, tremendous power. So you call somebody a Nazi before and it was ha ha ha, that's a funny joke. Now it's like you almost can't do that because you're just putting a target on their back.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like that's kind of what we've forgotten, is that these words actually have weight and they have meaning because people are going to take you at your word. Absolutely. I mean, the whole idea of the word racist or sexist or fascist, they have lost all of their meaning to me completely. Completely. To the point where if somebody called me that, I'd be like, oh, well, you're not a serious person. That's what that indicates to me. And I have no desire to engage in any kind of dialogue or connection with you because you fundamentally misunderstand what those words means. I mean, I saw clips the other day of people going to there was a rally this past Saturday, part of the anti-immigration stuff, where this gentleman was walking over to these ladies and he basically asked them, so like, what does a fascist mean? You know, you guys are yelling about like these fascists. I'm just trying to learn. I don't fully understand the term. So what do you mean when you say fascist? And one of them just like stumbles over her words, doesn't really know what it means. She's like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I've been yelling all day. I'm just very tired. I can't really think of anything." Calls over her friend to save her. Her friend can't even come up with a definition either. Meanwhile, she's holding up a sign that says fascist. Like these people have no fundamental understanding of what that word means or what the danger is of using that word against someone. And part of that is because they've, you know, as you pointed out in the Trudeau example, their political leaders have given them an excuse to use that word because the political leaders use it. Oh, well, these people are in charge. They must know what's going on. They're in the halls of power. They're actually meeting with these people. They actually, you know, they have to deal with them. They're the only ones that are holding the floodgates from opening, from the fascist wave. These people must be serious. They know what they're talking about. Meanwhile, those people actually are smart enough to know what that definition means. They know what that word means, and they use it flippantly anyways because, well, you name it. They get some clicks, it gets them attention, it gets them voters, they see the numbers go up, their pollsters say that they're doing good, what have you. And they're fine with that. You know, they're okay with it. They got private security. As long as they can get elected the next season, they're fine. They got investments. They're living in a gated community. They're good. They're fine. They don't got to deal with any of this. For now. For now. Because this could have easily turned sour. You know, like we said before, the right is the overwhelming majority of owners of guns in America. You don't even need statistics. Just assume that. Like, really, it's a bunch of libs, a bunch of liberal left-leaning people are the ones that are the majority gun owner. Really, that's the stereotype. That's where that comes from. Come on, let's be real here.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Words,
Well,
words have power.
Yeah.
But this article is the one that I was mentioning, written by some fucking opinion columnist. CBC reporter in Montreal. Previously worked for the Globe and Mail and Toronto Star. Wow, what a surprise. What a surprise. Quelle surprise. But yeah, she basically goes on. Hemner says the praise he received for his ability to organize and connect with an increasingly broad base often overlooks how harmful his rhetoric could be. He's someone who has said it's probably the right call for gay people to be stoned, that black women aren't smart enough to hold certain positions. This is not civil discourse. This is opening up a debate about people's basic rights and humanity. Okay, first of all, that quote when he says black women aren't smart enough to hold certain positions, he was quoting, Charlie Kirk was talking about Michelle Obama and a couple of other black politicians who are way out of their depth when it comes to some of these problems that they're talking about, and they absolutely are. You can find this clip online. Let me find it here.
Yeah, I'm sure both of those statements are taken way out of context. Like,
absolutely. Here it is. Here it is.
Gay people should be stoned, but we just watched him respond to somebody saying, "Do you hate the LGBTQ community?"
Yeah, here it is.
Talk about it. You really have to wonder. In fact, you know, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I'm sorry, but like that's like we don't even need to see more of the clip.
No.
He's literally talking about like 3 or 4 women in particular, and one of them that actually admits to being an affirmative action hire. Like she's
and
literally
you don't have to be, yeah.
She literally admits to this.
Yeah.
So it's not that he's saying all black women, and yet this person that's quoted here, Hemmer, who is what, Nicole Hemmer, an associate professor of history, focusing. Oh my goodness, Jesus Christ! Oh God, these fucking professors and educators, man.
Yep.
Get them the fuck out of here. This is like the 10th one. This is like the 10th one that we've seen today.
Oh, yeah. 70 in Ohio. 70.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God.
Just in Ohio. But I like how it's the same clip that was bothering me in the other post as well. That initial one with all the lists we were like breaking down there. Because one of them was how black women stole white political jobs.
Multiple black politicians, quote, stole white people's spots. She literally said that. She'd literally admit to it, that she was an affirmative action hire.
And I figured that's what it was. It was this whole action with DEI and all that. And here's the thing is, you don't have to be racist to see this as an actual problem that's been developing. People are being chosen. We've had multiple examples, and we've pulled them up even here on stream before, of instances where job offers are being offered exclusively to a certain type of individual. Like, this is just in black and white.
I don't know what like this took me 5 seconds to find. Literally all of 5 seconds to find. Tier 1 Canada Research Chair in Computer Science, 2 positions for the Chariton School of Computer Science. They're looking for 2 tenured faculty positions. Position 1, all areas of artificial intelligence. This call is open only to qualified individuals who self-identify as women, transgender, gender fluid, non-binary, or two-spirit. Position 2, this call is open only to qualified individuals who self-identify as a member of a racialized minority.
So you or I cannot apply for this job?
No, we can't. Actually, no, we can. Only if we self-identify as a woman, transgender, gender fluid, non-binary, or two-spirit. Or a minority, or a racial minority.
I forgot I'm gender fluid.
I bet if I do a 23andMe, I got to be like 0.5% black. You know, all that Asian blood. Actually, or like maybe like, I don't know, Chinese or something. I don't know. Do Chinese count as a racialized minority? Do they? I think they do.
What the fuck is two-spirit?
Oh, two-spirit. That's like a native sexuality. That's a new term. Have you not heard about this?
Oh, I think I have now that you'd mentioned it, but I haven't taken like a deep dive into it.
Yeah, it's made up by white people. It's actually not a thing that natives came up with at all. The term was coined in 1990. Yeah. As an individual who fulfills traditional third gender or other gender variant social roles within their communities. So it's like non-binary, but for natives. But it
We
wasn't
had a
made by natives.
Yeah, but this is 1990. We have a third annual Intertribal Native American First Nations Gay and Lesbian Conference in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
What?
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
To not get too far away from the point, the initial point was that Charlie Kirk was saying that, oh my God, these black women are getting jobs of white men. They're stealing their jobs. And here's literally like somebody admitting it on the House floor, the representative admitting that. And
That
also
they were
that,
hired based on that and not based on competency in the position.
yeah, and the quote that they were even like misquoting wasn't even that they were taking their jobs. The quote that they were misquoting was that that they were not competent. That was the where's the initial
Oh
post?
yeah, yeah. He didn't say they were. He never once said they were incompetent, even though that's. I
Yeah,
mean,
here it is. He's
they
someone
are.
who has said it's probably the right call for gay people to be stoned, that black women aren't smart enough to hold certain positions. Yeah, he didn't say across the board.
He didn't say that. He didn't say they aren't smart enough.
Like, he talked about
He would
4
never
women.
say that.
He said 4 women in particular. And why is the CBC pushing this? Here's the podcast. Kirk said that a political commentator and TV host Joy Reid, former First Lady Michelle Obama, and lawyer and former congressional representative Sheila Jackson Lee, and Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action hires who do not have the brain processing power to. So they even fact check themselves mid article.
But they put it underneath it, eh?
And yet they still printed this. What the fuck is their state-funded media? Man, defund their fucking ass. Holy shit. Sorry, I don't mean to just like this layer with swearing because I'm trying to turn a new leaf and not cuss as much, but my God, like how could you be so dense that you think this article is something that is worthy of being publishing for millions to read? Appealing to a mythical past. Yeah, here's the part where he appeals to men, an age where men were men. A lot of young men experiencing this kind of status anxiety are looking for people to provide solutions. And Kirk's soundbite narrative suggests to them that they can return to a mythical past where men were really men or masculinity was valorized. Yeah.
Because now masculinity is toxic and...
Well, that's the part that they miss, right? Here it is. Ability to connect, attracted to Republican backing, and they talk about his connection to the Republican Party. Concerns about escalating political violence. No part of it on the left. No admission. Nothing. Kirk used his talent for public speaking to promote some of the far right's most extreme... My God.
Yeah, they were super extreme. I like how they keep going to the Taylor Swift one too. They had that in the list, and they had that here in the article. Where apparently he tells Taylor Swift to, and this is a quote, like submit to Travis Kelce, and it's like, yeah, submit to her husband. You mean? And have a ton of kids,
as millions of women do throughout the world on a daily basis. As they have done for millennia, for centuries. Just like if they had told men to step up to the plate and become caregivers, if they were trying to shame this generation of men that is abdicating their responsibility of family building, yeah, I would see that in the same light. It's the same thing. It's just you're just directing it at a different gender. But yeah, here's that quote. I just found funny. Kirk used his talent for public speaking to promote some of the far right's most extreme ideas. And in the same breath, they say, and found broad appeal among American youth. How do you find broad appeal when you're promoting some of the far right's most extreme ideas?
Yeah.
How does, like, what?
I don't know.
You know what? The most valid thing they said in this entire article, there's just not really anyone like him.
Yeah. That sums that up really well.
I want to see if there's some videos that I found that were really touching of Charlie Kirk just being a person, dancing and having backstage moments, behind the scenes and all that. I don't know if YouTube is gonna have it.
It's gonna have a bunch of different compilations than what you're looking for.
Yeah, probably not. And I don't know if Instagram is gonna have it either. At this point, it's such a hot topic that realistically they're probably not gonna have anything.
I've seen some of the clips though. Like
Yeah,
the one
with,
that's been going around was the one of
Owens.
his. I saw the one of when he was on, what was it, like Fox this morning or something? Some morning talk show with Fox, and his daughter runs over to him.
Yeah. No, I'm probably not gonna find it, but I've stumbled upon a couple of these where, yeah, just to end the show off on a lighter note, where he was just being a person. I'm probably not going to find it. With the way that the algorithm is set up, I'm not going to find it. But there was there was one that was kind of funny, where this guy essentially got canceled.
Charlie Kirk's death.
This next one to an absolute piece of shit of a human being. The pronouns were. Because if you chat shit, you will get banned. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, you piece of shit.
Death celebrated.
And then the day after.
At no point whatsoever did we celebrate Charlie Kirk's death. I did call him a piece of shit. That much is true. But at no point was his death celebrated. If it was, go find me a quote, go find me something that proves that we were celebrating his death. You're not going to find it because it didn't happen. What did happen is one reporter that bought their ticket online came with the sole purpose of finding something to report. And after I called him a piece of shit and we played a song, they have written that up as a celebration. Not a celebration, isn't a celebration, wasn't a celebration.
Okay.
You dedicated the song to him.
You were literally dancing around the stage.
You literally
Talking
said,
about
"Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk."
Rest in piss. Literally said rest in
Oh, he
piss.
said? Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah. There's actually a really cool interview that Channel 5 did with the last guy to speak with him, which was an interesting watch. Highly recommend that people check it out. But yeah, I said I didn't want to keep it any longer, and we went an extra half hour, so I'm gonna make sure that we can close out here. But you know what? Let's end with this. I wanna say something that impact that Charlie Kirk had in my life. I never knew the man much. I've seen a lot of his clips online up until the death, and wasn't a huge fan of the content, but I liked that he was just going around and asking people to speak and have an open dialogue. Regardless of today's day and age and the kind of political climate that people are living in, that takes a lot of balls. Say what you want. That takes a lot of balls to do that. Not only to do that, but to hedge your entire career around that kind of way of life, and that's what you do, to stand up for your values in such a way that I mean, I can't really think of anyone that else that has done that. The guy was only like 2 years older than us. You know, he was like 31 when he died.
Yeah.
And to build what he did, he I mean, I can't help but just think that like the conviction of values that was needed to go in that direction and go all in with his life and like that, and the way that he did, is really commendable. And like I said, I'm not even saying this as a big fan of his or someone that followed him or knew him, but his death will not be in vain. I think that what will reverberate will send a wave of positivity and collective responsibility among enough of the right people that this could potentially have a lasting impact that echoes through the generations. And I pray for his family and for his kids, even though I'm not a religious man. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. The guy was a beacon of hope in a time when we needed men like him more than anything, and I hope that more people will be able to step in, and you know, nobody will ever be able to fill his shoes, but the fact that people are willing to try, I think, is enough. And I hope wherever he is, he's looking down on us and that he's proud. What about you?
Yeah. Well, I feel the same. I didn't follow him too closely. But I admired what he did. I admired that he had the gumption to stand up against the world and speak his mind, say his piece. And I just want to probably just hear what Trump said and how you know, he was a religious man, and we can rest easy knowing that he's with God now.
Yeah, let's play this clip and we'll close it out. Fuck, I can't watch that more than once. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. We'll be here next week, Wednesday, same time. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
It's a hard way to send it off. It's
fuck,
it's a
man,
tough
okay.
conversation to have. It's unbelievable that it got to this point. But I kind of agree with you, and I feel like despite the tragedy, despite the loss, despite the pain to his family and friends, that I think I can guarantee that a lot of eyes were opened. Yeah, I feel like if not like a call to violence, I think this is a catalyst for some major change.
A call to hope. A call to what's
Yes.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll leave it with that, guys. We'll see you later. Thanks for making the time, James. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.